Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday. This is sort of a follow-up video to the one I posted about the Trump indictment. As far as the indictment is concerned, people need to remember that political weapons, once unsheathed, are seldom ever returned to the scabbard. I don't remember whoever said that, but it's words to live by. Nevertheless, here's my interesting... I'm not going to call it a conspiracy theory. Just some thoughts about a very potentially weird but not impossible scenario that could come up. Okay, we know the Republican Party has some issues within different factions of it. The never Trump, never Cruz, never Trump, never DeSantis, the rhinos, the Liz Cheney types and whatnot. You know, there's different factions in the party that can't seem to get along, and they all blame the other ones. You've got the classical liberals, you've got some libertarian Republicans, you've got, you know, the religious right, you've got the fiscal conservatives, the blue bloods, the neocons. They all just, you know, they don't know how to play together in their big tent. And I say that as a former Republican. But nevertheless, the Democrats have some issues in their side of the house as well. One of the biggest issues is that everybody with a brain in their head, I don't care how much Democrat Kool-Aid they drink, they know Biden, well, let's just say his wheel is turning, but his hamster is dead. He's obviously been in a state of mental decline for a long time. It's almost elder abuse to see what goes on with that man. But nevertheless, you have to remember who's one heartbeat away. You've got the cackler, Kamala Harris. Okay, she doesn't seem to be the brightest bulb in the box. I know she's got a law degree, but man, seems to have the intellect of a fourth grader. But nevertheless, she was one of the first ones knocked out of the Democrat primary back in 2019, 2020. Most Democrats probably don't want to see her up there. Can you imagine her trying to debate somebody like Ron DeSantis or even Donald Trump? Even Larry Hogan, or Mitt Romney, or Liz Cheney, or just about any Republican with a brain in their head. It wouldn't go very well. She's obviously a diversity hire. You know, Biden lives by this school of keep your friends close and your opponents closer. She didn't have a lot of nice things to say about him during the primary, and that's understandable. Republicans do it too. But anyway, here's a way to get rid of Kamala Harris, because if Biden steps down, she becomes president. Well, if you're a top-level Democrat, you've got to be thinking to yourself, well, we want to get Biden out of there, do it gracefully, but we don't want Harris to be president. Well, here's my solution, Democrats. Get Kamala Harris to resign her position, step down, make her head of a provost of a university, make her head of a nice nonprofit charity. She can be the first woman of color, Southeast Asian, Black American, whatever ethnicity she wants to use. She fits a lot of boxes in that regard. She could become head of a charitable foundation. She could have a nice 7-figure salary, write a book, collect royalties, you know, put her in a good position where she can really do some good, you know, with her progressive agenda, progressive values and everything. Let her be the head of a foundation. Make her maybe an ambassador somewhere, something like that. She could step down on a high note, take the position. She could say, hey, you know, I'm a woman of color. I did this, I did that. She could go on out. Then Biden has to choose another vice president. Well, think of a good-looking, articulate, smart, left-wing governor from a big, diverse state. Yeah, Gavin Newsome, governor of California. His policies suck, but you can't argue he's an intelligent guy. He's got a nice wife, nice family, you know, does the hair gel just right. You know, he handles the press very well. He checks off all the boxes on the leftist agenda. And in some ways, he's a likable guy. He's kind of smarmy at times, but he's a likable guy. He could hold his own in a debate. So you bring Gavin Newsome in as a vice president. If he had to pass Senate confirmation, that'd be a breeze. So he comes in, he's vice president. Then early in 2024, Joe Biden sits down, has a meeting with his doctors, and there's a health issue that comes up. So Biden can step down on a high note and just say, hey, you know, my doctors advised me, you know, I want to go home and hang out with the grandchildren, spend some time in the nursing home. Okay. So Biden steps out on a high note. They're not going to throw him under the bus. They're not going to do that, even if they want him gone. So they get Biden out on a high note. Well, then Gavin Newsome ascends to the presidency, just like Gerald Ford, never having been elected. He gets to run in 2024 as an incumbent, okay? He's got executive experience as a governor of a big state. Not saying I like his agenda. His agenda sucks. His policies are bad, but he's competent. The man is competent, much more so than Joe Biden. So now he's president. He's got to select a vice president. Who checks off the boxes? Well, you go down to Georgia, Stacey Abrams. Woman of color, very left-wing voting record, ran for governor down there twice. Still very popular among Democrats. She definitely has a lot of political acuity. She's very smart. A lot of political clout with her. She knows how to get votes out. She knows how to get the money out. So then in 2024, you've got a Democrat ticket. Gavin Newsom is president, running as an incumbent, even though he was never elected. He doesn't take the blame for any of the stuff that Biden did that screwed things up. He can sidestep that. And then he's got a woman of color as the vice president. Okay, that kind of takes the wind out of the sails. Now, on the Republican side, you're probably going to have Donald Trump or maybe Ron DeSantis. Who are they going to pick as a running mate? Nikki Haley? I don't know. She said she's running. I think she's running to be somebody's VP choice. But so now the Republicans are going to be in a position, okay, so now we've got a left-wing Democrat with a left-wing woman of color as his running mate. How do the Republicans check off the diversity section? They're going to have a tough time with it. I've heard that Nikki Haley's name out there. I've heard of Kristi Noem, governor of South Dakota. She would probably be a worthy vice presidential choice. But there's a lot that can happen. 2024 is only literally a year away, less than that. But politically, November of 2024 is still a long time away. There's a lot can happen. That's not a conspiracy theory I threw out there, just something that could happen. You could have Gavin Newsom end up being president who's never ran for office, just like Gerald Ford was vice president when Nixon resigned, or, you know, when Nixon resigned, he became president. And he never ran for it, never was elected. So just throwing it out there. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. My mind, now that I'm retired, my mind has time to wander sometimes. And that's what I came up with. There's no hate or disrespect intended, anything like that. We're just going to be in for some very interesting times. So peace and good afternoon, everybody. Take care.